our channel, guys. And if you're new, welcome. Hello. We're Mabel and Joe. Today we're going to be talking about quarantine because it's just a confusing topic. We don't know where it came from. And
we don't know where it came
we're
from.
just in the middle of it and we're trying to make sense of it. So we thought, why not have a conversation about it? What were you doing when quarantine started? Like, how did that go for you?
When it started, I was in New York City, and it was definitely different because I was working with children, and then all of a sudden we had to be remote, and like nobody knew how that was gonna go, especially with like younger children, like having to see them like through a screen and stuff. They don't really understand fully like what's going on. So it was just for the first month we were trying to figure out like how to get everything together. It was a mess. And yeah, and then I was freaking out because I didn't know like if we were still gonna be paid, like what was going on, like, and the news was just hyping things up crazy. And then my mom was in my ear like telling me, yo, make sure you get this, make sure you get that, like, yo, it was a lot. It was very overwhelming. And then I was scared because during that time, so my boyfriend was working 2 jobs, and my job was the first one that was closed in March, and he was still working. So for a long time I was like, oh my god, we go in quarantine, am I gonna have to be here by myself? Like, oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. But then eventually his job ended up closing too, so we ended up just being through quarantine together, which made stuff way better and made the days go by smoother, definitely.
Yeah.
So like what I would do, I would wake up, I would work, do my job from the morning to the afternoon. And then after that, I would just try to do little things that I enjoy, like working out. I was catching up on a lot of Netflix shows and movies. So literally I watched a lot of, I think I watched the whole Netflix. And then when I started to get bored, I would just try to like do mindfulness, meditation. I would look stuff on Google, on like YouTube and stuff on Google, and just try to keep myself occupied. And whenever we had to like get groceries, like that was a struggle, because where I live is like there's a lot of like Asians, so it's not like a lot of like
There's not a diversity.
there's not like a diversity in like the kinds of foods that you could get, especially with supermarkets. So we would have to go to Brooklyn to like where his mom lives.
Oh, wow.
And we would actually cab it there all the time because
That's expensive.
yeah, it was. But we was not trying to take the chances of taking a train.
Right.
Because I was like,
You were pretty
nah.
bad here.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm good on that. So we would just cab it back and forth, cab it to go to the supermarket, cab it to come back.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a struggle. And we was just really nervous because like at the beginning, we all didn't know like what was the coronavirus, what's going on, like how did that get here? Like it was just a lot going on. And then you saw like in the news people fighting over like paper toilet, and
I was so confused when that happened. I was like, what's wrong with people? Like,
yeah, because I feel like we just all didn't know like what was going on. A lot of people were like, nah, the city's gonna close, everything's gonna be shut down. So people was trying to make sure they get all the necessary things that they need, especially if they have a big family at home,
Right.
Like me, I got lucky because I had a lot of paper toilet, and it was just the 2 of us here, so like I didn't really have to go crazy and buy anything, because I literally, before this whole happened, I had gone to like BJ's and bought like a big bulk of paper toilet and masked up. But yeah, it was just, I was also freaking out because like money wise, that was another struggle. Like that little stimulus check, like yeah, it did help for the moment, but after that it was just like, yo,
second it helped.
right? We was like, wait,
What? That
what's going on?
If you think about it, for some people, 1,200, that's rent.
Now
That's not even for some people. That's not
That's a
even
fact.
all of rent.
That's a fact.
So-
You still need to come up with your
What
half.
was that doing? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very appreciative. Like it definitely helped, but it's like
Right.
I didn't.
But it was gone like that.
I didn't really understand.
$1,000 nowadays is nothing,
That's
especially in
nothing.
2020. No,
No.
it's gone. Like maybe back in the early 2000s, yes, it would last you, but right now, nah, it won't. But what about yours? How was yours? Because you wasn't in the city.
I was not. I was in Chicago, which is a very interesting place. I think it's funny because I feel like Chicago kind of was like, what? When they was like, put on your mask, they was like, nah, we good.
We don't get that.
I was like, okay. So I was living in a house at this point. I had 5 roommates. And then as everything started like unwinding, I had just been let go of my job.
Wow.
And then I was applying for other jobs. Actually, when I got let go that same day, I found another job. I usually have lovely jobs.
That's good, at least.
Yeah, so I got this other job. I went, but I had to commute. It was like in the suburbs of Chicago, so I had to take like the train up there.
Wow.
Yeah, so the first few days I was able to go to the office. And then when Corona hit, they just didn't. It was really weird now that I think about it. So, and I feel like Corona has been a blessing in disguise because I feel like it changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Nah, it definitely did.
On jobs, on people, like it just
on
really
life.
opened up my eyes. Yeah, and I remember like our job just kind of went MIA for a few days. Like,
the new job that you got?
Yeah, I was
wow, so they
blown.
just didn't even tell you anything. They just said,
Nothing.
no, we're going
Yo,
on mute.
I was confused. Like, I was like texting my boss, like, yo, like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? Like, should I start looking for something new? Nothing. No reply, no reply, no reply. And then like 5 days later, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, we just weren't sure like what to do. But the good news is we're going to be going remote. So like, don't even worry about it. But I was able to leave, which was great. So I had my little job and I was really fortunate because out of the 5 people, like 2 of them went to mommy and daddy's house, which I completely understand. Like, if that was an option, that would have been an option. But, and then the 3 of us that stayed behind, like one of them worked in food service, so their job was gone. And then the other one was doing like most of them worked odd jobs. So all of that was gone.
They were like, let go.
So we kind of we would have like house meetings and be like, so anybody got a job? Like, and I'd be like, I kind of have a job. I don't know. So that happened. And then my job was, I was a booking agent, so I literally had to call people, and it was a lot of kids and stuff, and like parents were like, yeah, I'm interested, but
not right now.
Right, like call me back when this is over.
Right.
So I guess they didn't think my work ethic was strong enough.
Important.
Yeah, so I literally got fired via email. Like,
wow, they didn't even call you and was like, yo.
She didn't even give me the like decency to call me.
Wow, just in the email, like you're literally let go.
Yeah, she was like, just accept this as your letter of termination. And I was like, this is not right. Like, we're literally in the middle of a pandemic. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for rent.
Right.
And in that moment, I realized, I was like, I never want to work a job again, because this woman woke up and took my income from me. Like, literally changed my life.
Didn't even speak to you and say anything.
Didn't even care. Like, just went about her business, went about her day, and I'm like, wow, like, you could really give your time and
someone,
to
especially
a place,
a job,
and just lose it all, like, over a day. Like, what's the point? Like, I feel like that really changed my perspective of like, why do I want to work somewhere? Like, I'd rather figure out how to work for myself. So I feel like that definitely started turning my gears into like, okay, what am I gonna do? So when I got my stimulus check, I mostly spent it on like things to like keep my mind occupied, because I realized like when you do spend a lot of time alone, you tend to overthink things. And especially like you said, with everything going on, mommy was calling me like, yo, they're saying
and they
this.
just give you more anxiety. Because they're constantly watching the news like 24/7. So they're telling you, yo, this happened here, this happened in Italy, blah, blah, blah.
And you already know Univision and them Spanish channels be making things extra
worse. And you're just like,
don't go outside because you might die. And like, mommy was calling me like, yo, like, you know, like people are dying. Like, if you go to the hospital, you don't see your family.
Yeah, that's like, the same thing with my friends. You would die alone. And I'm like,
girl.
damn.
I was like, please turn off the news. We're going to be okay. Just take care of yourself. Because I'm like, I don't understand why we started panicking. Like, it's a virus. Like, if you have a virus, just take care of yourself. That was my mindset. So when the whole, like, people panicking over sanitizer and toilet paper, I was like, what? Well, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, what I feel
how's that helping?
Yeah, what I feel the reason why people panicked is because, like we said, like the news made things more worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They made us panic.
That's true.
And then everybody just went into, oh my god, I need extensions, I need this, and everything just went wild.
I also realized during that time that I think that also made people realize like the juxtaposition of people and the different ways people live, because there were people that could go to the store and buy 20 packs of toilet paper and 3 pounds of sanitizer, but there were people who literally didn't have money, didn't have the extra money to get these things. And like there was little people on the news like crying, like everybody took the baby formula, like I don't know where.
Yeah, I remember the bread. People were like, "Well, no more bread. Like, what am I gonna do? And I'm gonna be stuck in the house with no bread."
I remember like watching the news and being like, "Yo, is this real? Like, is this like?"
Yeah, I was like in disbelief at first, because I remember hearing about coronavirus around like January, I think it was, when it first started like being discovered in China. And then my thing was, well, why didn't you guys control it over there instead of just spreading it everywhere? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. What do you guys do? Because I'm confused. Like, I don't know.
And I remember the first, because like I said, in Chicago for a long time, people were like, "Mask? What? Where? Why?" And then when they really started like cracking down, and I remember for a long time, I didn't step outside my room because I was like, you know what?
And you was like, nah.
I don't have to leave, so I would only leave to like go to the grocery store, which is like a few blocks from my house. And then that was it. But then like I remember like the first time I really went outside, and I was like, yo, it felt like I was in this like the Sims game. Like I was a character in a game, and like you know, like people be like, I'm a very affectionate person, so it sucks because it made people act different.
Yeah, because
like,
I couldn't really be too close to people.
I remember one time I was walking my dog, and this other lady was walking her dog, and we kind of like stopped and had a conversation, but it was from a distance. She's like, "Oh, I wish I could have hugged you, but you know, I'm sorry." And I was like, damn, like it just sucks because I feel like it makes you feel weird, because like I literally have people like stop a block away and go all the way around, and I'm like, yo, like that's weird to me. Like,
it was not definitely weird. Like, it really felt like we was in a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it had no ending, and it was just getting crazier and crazier. Every day you wake up, there was always something new. I was like, Lord, I would literally pray every night. Because I would be like, Lord, please help us all. Because what is going on? Like,
you just didn't know what was coming next. I think that's what it was. Like, I feel like each day it was like, okay, start wearing your mask. Make sure you're sanitizing every 5 seconds. Like, make sure you're doing this. And then
what made it more crazy was that when you would go to like food shopping, the line would be ridiculous. You would have to wait there for hours. So it was just insane. Like,
and that's like normal now. Like I went to a store in Chicago, and me and my sister and my mom waited on like 45 minutes just to get inside. And then when we got inside, they didn't have what I was looking for.
Wow.
So I wasted my time. I was very upset.
Nah, I would be very upset because now you wait. Like, what?
It's interesting because I genuinely wonder, like, I wonder if things are gonna go back to normal, but then it's like, what is that?
What is normal now? Cause
like, I think things are just always gonna be a little different now.
Right.
Like, even
from now on,
just with everything, with shopping, with schools, with just life, everything's different now.
Yeah.
So I think this was definitely like a good time to just pick up skills, bought myself a little camera. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be inside.
So let me just buy this camera.
And it was cool also because a lot of companies were doing different promotions, like Ableton, which is like a producing software. They gave like 60 days.
Oh, they were doing it like cheap and stuff, or like even free.
No, it was free.
A lot of like educational websites too. That's what happened. Like, it was
right,
like
for
free.
The kids and stuff.
Yeah, it was like free to keep them entertained and stuff like that, which helped a lot, especially for like those kids that really love like learning every day. And
and I think this also very much showed us that there are some jobs that aren't appreciated, like teachers, for example, because I feel like parents finally realize, like, oh, this is what you guys have to go through.
Oh, now I get it.
This is what you guys deal with every day, and it's like, like
this is what we have to do.
I never understood. Like, a teacher is a very important role because they're basically watching your child like most of the day. And and so it's definitely, quarantine has definitely been an eye opener.
Yeah, and it was also definitely an eye opener because now you start to think like, wow, you really, really, really need to have a solid savings account, because if you don't in times like this, what are you gonna do? Like out of nowhere, you know, your world could be going fine, lady do, and then out of nowhere it just does a whole 360.
Yep.
And now you're like, what am I gonna do? All of a sudden you lose your job. Like, and that's what happened with a lot of people. Like, they were let go from their job, and now they were like fend to like figure out what their next move was gonna be.
Where they were getting rent.
How they was gonna pay rent. Like,
how was they gonna eat that day. Like,
how their family was gonna be surviving. Like, it was just a lot. And I was definitely scared for like my parents, because you know they're older, and I'm just like, Lord, please. Especially like my family's like in other countries as well. Like,
that's true, because the resources
like,
are different out there.
Yeah. So I was just like, Lord, please help us all.
Yo, and I remember when this first happened, like I just remember thinking like, damn, like for some reason my first thought was like, damn, like homeless people don't have any resources.
I was thinking about that. I was
they
like,
have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we can walk inside the store and get hand sanitizer.
That's
we
true.
can buy a mask. But they don't have that. Like, they can't.
Yeah.
Like, and it just
because I don't know. Were shelters like providing those stuff? I'm not really sure. Like, were they, or do they provide those type of things? Like, no. Like, so they just give you a place to stay, and now you just gotta fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I know if you stay in a shelter, I know that then you have to go out during the day and find yourself a job and stuff. Like, you cannot stay there.
I wonder how that happened. Well, it depends on different states.
Okay.
But that's a good thought. I wonder what that's like, because it's like, yeah, you're supposed to be looking for work, but it's like, especially now, like I feel like there was that time period where it was just difficult to find jobs. Like I remember feeling like sometimes not watching the news, but reading things was a little bit comforting, because it reminded me like, yo, I'm not alone. Like I'm not the only one
dealing with this,
who doesn't know where rent is gonna come from. I'm not the only one who doesn't know what the hell they're doing right now with their lives. I feel like in a weird way, this situation kind of brought people together too, because it's like,
it definitely did.
A lot of people realize like, yo, I'm not the only one who be struggling.
And it also made you like really appreciate your loved ones, because sometimes we do tend to take like our loved ones for granted. And that was just an eye opener. Like, wow, today you could be here and tomorrow you could be gone and not come back ever again. Like, that's crazy, and it's very scary because a lot of people died. Like, it was crazy. Like, every time I would turn on the news, I would see stuff about Italy and how packed all the hospitals were, and how they didn't have any more space and they had to create more space. Like, it was just a lot. It was very overwhelming. And I was like, when are we gonna be back to normal? When is it gonna be over? I was hoping like it was gonna be over by the summertime. Psych, you thought.
I was convinced. I was like, yo, by August we're gonna be fine. It is September. We're still dealing with this.
We're still dealing with it. And it's like we don't even know what's gonna happen and what's gonna continue happening like for the rest of the year that we have in like 2020.
Right.
It's just been since 2020 started, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. It was just downhill. Everybody was like, yo, it's gonna be my year, it's gonna be my year.
Everybody was
it was not anybody's year. Like, it was crazy.
I feel like in a weird way, people definitely learned about themselves though. Like,
definitely.
This definitely showed you like who's down for you for real, who's your family for real. Like, and I think it definitely got more people talking about mental health and just self-care.
Yeah, how important mental health is.
Because it's like during a time like this, like there are some people who are introverts and don't enjoy socialization, but then that made them realize like, damn, like I
should speak to someone.
Or just being around people just kind of makes things a little better. So it's definitely been I feel like a hard time just mentally and just emotionally, but I think it's definitely pushed people to be like, all right, how can I help myself? Like,
how to
like
learn a new skill, how to make myself better. A lot of people turned the stimulus checks and made a business, and boom, like, good for you. If you're one of those people that did that, yo, I'm proud of you, because yo, it's hard out here. It's hard out here, and it's still hard because there's still some like businesses that are still not open, and people are like still waiting to like go back to work. So, oh Lord. Now you know what's the craziest thing? That during that time when it first started, when somebody would come, everybody would like, oh, nah,
Oh
what you
my
doing? What you doing? Like,
God. I literally hate that.
yeah, one time I was in the bus, bro, and now I was dying. Like, when you really got a cough
Oh
and you're
my
trying to
God.
hold it in,
Yeah.
that's the worst. Because I didn't
Yeah.
want to cough and for people to be like, yo, what the hell? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was like,
Even your own family. I used
Nah,
to
facts.
come to my mom's house, like when I got comfortable enough to go visit her, and she'd be like, "Oh, ¿tú estás haciendo?" Like, what are you sure you good? And I'm like,
they'll be
"Mom."
like, coronavirus. And I'm like,
Right. Damn.
bro, don't play like that. Don't play like that.
But we would love to know what your quarantine is going like.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you do during this quarantine? How'd you keep yourself distracted and occupied?
What
Tell
new
us some
skills
stories.
did you learn?
Right.
Yeah.
What did you learn? What did you do that's new? You know.
Right.
So thank you so much for watching. Make
Thank you.
sure to comment, like, and subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next video.